Croeso, and welcome to Cardiff Referee Society's August Zoom meeting. The meeting's guest speaker is Alan Snoddy from Northern Ireland. Alan has had a very successful refereeing career, which included appointments to 2 World Cups in Mexico '86 and Italia '90. So, to say he's a well-respected and distinguished figure is an understatement. Alan is still involved with the Northern Ireland and Republic of Ireland FA, as well as a number of European FAs, which are too many to list. He also performs a number of training and education roles within FIFA and UEFA.
Thanks very much. Hi guys, it's great to be with you, and thanks to Alman for setting up this 1 hour little seminar. Basically guys, what the topic tonight is positioning, reading the game in terms of game management. So in the short time that we have this evening, my idea is we just show some clips from restart, simple things like corner kicks, attacking free kicks, tactical play by the teams in terms of pressing, the new sort of style that we have now with goal kicks being taken short. And what is really the best way forward is let's have a discussion. So in this topic, we're not making decisions. We're not saying direct free kick, yellow card. We're not saying no foul, no card, etc., etc. It's a discussion around positioning. And really, a result for me tonight would be for everybody to go away with some new ideas, some new thoughts that will help you in terms of your positioning and reading the game and being ready for the next decision, which is really the most important thing. So, as Aman has said, everybody's on mute. That cuts down on the background noise very well. I've asked Aman, would he select the person that will give the feedback, because he knows you guys obviously and I don't, and he'll ask you to give some feedback on the clip, and then we'll have hopefully our discussions. So just in terms of opening up the topic, can you and if there's only 7 Alman, maybe everybody could be unmuted, and then somebody can chip in with a couple of these suggestions. So it's an opening question to all of you. What elements of the game would determine your positioning? What are you thinking about to decide what might be the best position to take up at any given moment?
I think it will be looking at the getting the best view of the action, and thinking in your back of your mind, where's the play going to be developing? What will be happening next? So it's always getting a clear, unobstructed view of the ball and also the players involved.
Yeah, if they're set pieces, I think, kind of, you might predict certain outcomes as possibilities, kind of like, ball over goal line from a corner, this kind of stuff. If it's a free kick, whether you're going to be in front or behind, with the kicker or the other side of potentially a wall, depending on if it's close to the penalty area. If you're expecting a shot, you may need to see whether the ball's over the line clearly, or if you don't see that as a potential outcome, you may come up further away looking for other things.
Okay, super. So you mentioned a couple of times potential outcomes. So what things can help you perhaps estimate the potential outcome? Maybe somebody else can come in on that one. So you're trying to second guess what's going to happen next. Where's your next problem? Where will the next decision be? What things might help you decide?
Try on that, do my best. So what was it, from a corner kick? You'd be looking at, say, where the ball's dropping, the players involved, where the keeper is as well. You're trying to keep an eye on the keeper, and obviously your assistants as well.
So there's 2 possible things you've got to be looking for: whether it's cleared and then you've got to sprint the other side down the pitch, or whether it looks as if an attacker's going to get on the end of it, so you have to move across again for another ball over the line situation. So you could judge that maybe based off the amount of attacking players in the box. Could always be a good guide for that. Okay,
good, super. So let's start with looking at some action first of all. So
no, I haven't got it.
We've got a corner kick here. Okay,
I got it now.
All right, everybody okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we've got a corner kick. We have obviously focusing on the topic of positioning and movement. So what can you see in this picture? What can you see in this moment in the game that might cause you to take up a certain position or to take up some other action before the ball is even in play? Anybody want to start the discussion?
Yeah, so there's a massive gaggle of players around the penalty spot.
Yeah.
You'd want to get in a good position to see if there's any pull-in, push-in, and then obviously good enough to make a decision whether you go for a penalty, free kick, or give nothing. That would probably be the main thing of how you position yourself.
Okay. Anybody see anything else?
Yeah, there's two players in front of the keeper. There could be collision there with the keeper.
Okay. So what are you going to do next as a referee?
Looking at some of those situations there, I'd be a little bit tempted to hold the kick and just have a word with the group and perhaps the two on the near post and just make it clear that potentially something's going to happen they may or may not like after the ball is played.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're going to take some preventive action. You're going to take some... Yeah, okay, good. Anybody else? Is the position okay at the moment? Can we start the game now? Should we start the game now?
I would say with position, like the referee is almost like he's going to turn, like he's going to wait for the ball to be kicked, and then he's going to turn his body. So, and at the same time, you might miss something. So I would say have a more open body looking directly at all the players, and with the goalkeeper to that group there.
Okay. So are we as referees comfortable with this scenario here?
I would say be nervous that that something's going to happen there.
Yeah. Okay. And then we've got these guys here, obviously there for a reason. So somebody mentioned the pushing, holding, pulling. Okay. So what we need to do is
Good.
okay, happy?
Yep.
So two players have been isolated, two that have been warned. Just be careful as referees what you say to the players, because if you make a threat, then other players hear you. You might have to carry it out. So in most of your games, guys, would you have assistant referees or not?
I would say about half of us got assistants, or at some point during the season, working with assistants. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, but you will have games where you're simply on your own. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, that's something that will affect positioning as well, because you might, in terms of teamwork, want to have your assistant referee watching the activity that's going on here from the corner flag, obviously, because impossible for a referee to watch this and this at the same time. And obviously, these attacking blue players are there for a reason, to disrupt as best they can the goalkeeper. So the referee is taking preventive action. So can anybody guess what sort of corner kick is coming up? Because it gets back to what you said earlier on, predict the next outcome, at least try and second guess what's going to happen.
Is it going to go to the front post?
Okay, here?
Yeah, around the 6-yard area. Yeah, the ball's going to drop down.
Okay. Everybody agree? Somebody disagree?
I think front post as well. I think that number 7's going to run in and try to block the keeper from coming out the way.
This one?
Yeah, him there, yeah.
Wow.
I can't get my screen on, sorry, so I don't know what I'm doing, but I am here.
Yeah.
It's like...
Okay, anybody else?
James?
No, I agree with you. I think it's going to come in line with the front post, but like on the edge of the 6-yard.
Okay. So team tactics, at the very top level, guys, it's much easier for referees or referee teams, match officials to study team tactics, because they've got all the the videos and all the platforms that we can get the patterns of play, etc. off. So at grassroots level or semi-professional level, sometimes it's not just so easy, but even in a game, you can pick up team tactics at a corner. For example, I was at a game last week where one team got 2 corners in very quick succession, one after the other, and they simply played the ball. They simply kicked the ball into this area here. I mean, it wasn't a top-level game by any means, but they didn't really have any variation. They didn't really have any different tactical approach. So for the referee, it was quite easy just to expect the ball to come into this area. Okay, so let's see what happens. Position now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. These aren't trick questions. These, if you were refereeing this game, this would be a perfectly normal, acceptable position. You've got a good view of potentially anything that could happen here. You probably now can see as well, not easy, what's going on there. Too many referees are watching to see when the ball's kicked. This is just a little piece of advice that, again, tonight, if you pick up 2 or 3 pieces of advice, that's a big result. So there is no need to watch the ball. What's the alternative?
Just listen for it.
Exactly.
You know when it's going to get
There's
kicked.
Yeah. Just listen for it being struck. If you're in a normal game with no spectators anywhere at the moment, of course, you can hear the ball being struck. So you know these players are all watching the ball because they're timing their runs to the ball. So you need to focus on a foul here, a shirt pull here, a push or something that's potentially going to be your next decision. Okay. So not a bad guess, Salmon, not a bad guess. Ball played into the middle. Okay.
Clicked on, yeah.
So you can now see it from a much wider screen, which coaches would use in terms of being able to see the whole field. I don't think we need to repeat it any longer in the short time space that we have tonight. So a normal corner kick, just to summarise, this group of players, the 2 group of players at the post, referee's position was fine. If you had assistant referees, then I would be asking them to at least keep some sort of eye on these guys on the goal line, because what decision does the assistant referee need to make in the next second?
It's just that there's the ball in the play, that's all. It's not like the, but he'd have to be watching for it.
Yeah, it's not going to go out of play with a right-footed kicker.
No.
So it's not, unless there's some freak accident, and then it'll be easy for everybody to see. Left-footed kicker, yes, the ball could swing out of play and back in again, and then he's a decision to make. He certainly has no offside decision to make. So he can focus a lot of his attention on what's happening inside that goal area in front of the goal line, and at least give you some sort of help. Anybody, anything else to add?
I was saying that with regard to the discussion with the assistant referee, if you're not on comms, you know, and then you got like a big group on a goalkeeper, and a big group on the penalty spot, would that be included in a pre-match discussion, saying that you know, include that in there, saying, oh, try to keep a view on anything around the goalkeeper?
Yeah. Absolutely, the pre-match discussion is where you decide that. So, you know, without the expensive toys, the comms, then you have to have a plan B or a plan A, because many of the games you'll not be, you'll never have used radio communication systems in any case. So you need to have some plan, back to basics, eye-to-eye contact. You know, look at your assistant referee before the corner's taken, confirm that he's focused on the guys on the goal line, and then go from there. you know, it's only at the very top level that radio communication systems are being used in any case. So we've got to manage without those as well, obviously.
Also, with the at the beginning, when the referee was being proactive and he pulled those two players out, if then something happens, there's a pull or a push and so on, and he's going to take action with those two players, it will be a caution.
Well, you don't know without seeing what has happened in the situation. And that's why I said be very careful what you say to them, because if you make a threat, I'm going to caution you, I'm going to do this, then you've got to carry that through. So what you would hope would be that the verbal warning would be sufficient, that it stops any potential foul in the next few seconds. So it does. So, you know, we see many referees giving the defensive free kick just simply to take, you know, two players are fouling each other. You give a free kick to the defending team and you stop it. But better to prevent it.
Yeah.
And at least then everybody knows that you're aware of them. And normally it works. Sometimes not, of course. But if it's a cautionable offence, then absolutely. But you're not really going to get. You're certainly not going to probably get a reckless challenge from a high ball. At best, you'll get holding or pushing. Holding a shirt, pushing a player, sorry.
Yeah.
Let's look at the next example. So just listen to what the referee's saying here, because this maybe just reinforces a little bit what I said earlier about be careful what you say, and you can tell me what you think about it. What she said at this point, if you can't pick it up, she said, okay, I'm watching. Okay, so she's telling them she's watching. She's not making any threats. She's just making them aware that she's got her eyes on them.
That's good refereeing.
Yeah. So she's now said, lots of people here, lots of players here. Have to be careful on the.
Yeah.
I'm right here. I'm watching. Then she mentions cameras, so of course she's got the benefit of probably VAR in this game, because I think this is Women's World Cup in France. So she's just reminded them that there are cameras. The VAR team are watching. Obviously in our games this is not practical, but careful with the cameras. Positioning, just watch what she does, and then we'll have some feedback.
I noticed the position. She ran. Where she was. She had the back pedal to get out when the ball came out to her. But I think she's so focused on getting close to the play that she almost got caught out with the play. She had to run backwards to get out of the way.
There's just one little detail that I just want to suggest to you in terms of positioning. Are we totally comfortable with this position in this corner kick from the left side with all these players?
I would say she's potentially a couple of yards too close, so she can't get a wide enough view to see everything. She's very focused on a certain situation in there.
Okay, good, yeah. Anybody else of you?
Yeah, I think she was still walking back when she blew the whistle for the corner.
Yeah.
And really, she should have stopped, get in her position first, then blow the whistle.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, small detail, okay. Anybody else? One more?
I would say maybe move more central rather than towards the front post, just so you can see, you know, all the players are going to be running to that one point, and then you can see them rather than watching the movement, you know. So I think a bit more central would have had a better clear view, more open view.
Okay.
Potentially.
Okay. So she's a corner kick. The small piece of advice that I would give on this clip is that this is quite a dangerous position. because if the ball comes out,
Yeah.
as you see when play continues, it doesn't miss her, but very. So if there's a quick rebound of the ball here, you've got this attacker. There's a big risk of interfering with something. I think if she's positioned more to the left and the ball comes this way, then it's not just as risky. Okay, and I don't think her view is in any way spoiled by coming more to the left side. Okay, so try not, guys, to get yourselves in a position, if you like, between the goalposts or very close to it, because a quick rebound or a deflection or a defender trying to clear the ball, and all of a sudden you're caught up quite badly in play. Anybody ever got struck with the ball inside the penalty area?
Yeah, I'm sure there's quite a few out there, but too embarrassed to say.
Yeah, because if you haven't, you're telling lies. Okay, yeah. And the last thing you want is an assist, especially in a World Cup final tournament. It's not a nice feeling. So we've got an interesting group of players here. It's pretty clear from the corner kick, if we go back to what do we expect next, that the ball's arriving into this group of players. And it's probably man-to-man marking rather than zonal marking. So all the top players will be in this area. So just a small detail from this clip, for what it's worth, is trying to make sure that you're probably more to the left side looking in, so that you're not going to interfere with a surprise deflection or rebound off somebody. Okay, let's move to a normal attacking free kick, center of the penalty area. Just reminder again, we're speaking about positioning, about movement, about anticipating what's going on next. And we can also discuss a little bit about free kick management in this clip. So what have we got here? What's likely to happen? What do we anticipate will happen next?
So over to Lloyd.
The keeper is setting the wall up, so the keeper will move over to the right-hand side, hoping that the wall will block the shot. And the red, which I think is Russia probably, is going to chip it into this far left-hand corner. I don't know where the ref's going to go, because I don't know where the assistant is. I don't know which side they are.
Okay. The red team's Spain and the yellow team South Africa, so okay.
Oh, that's close for us.
I would hope the assistant referees. I would hope the assistant referees watching for the same line as the yellow team. Okay, but in this situation, can you get any help from your assistant in terms of what happen next?
Yeah, keep an eye on the three red players in front of the wall for anything going on between them and the wall.
Okay. Are they allowed to stand there?
It's 1 meter in front now, isn't it?
Very good, yeah, very good.
In front.
So nothing wrong with the position that the red players have taken up. So in terms of free kick management now, what steps would the referee now take?
Has she marked the 10 out for the yellow already or not?
No. She's waiting for our discussion.
Mark the 10 out, you expose the floor or whatever, and then you speak to the red and say nothing between you now, less than a meter, no more than a meter, but forward.
All right.
Can you make a drink, please?
Opposite side to the assistant.
So yeah, I think is the assistant referee will make sure that they're not going to creep up and steal some yardage, and also I suppose for the referee is making sure that the Reds are not going to encroach or get any, avoid the confrontation with the yellow wall.
To the assistant, the way that's all set up, I would anticipate a shot.
Mm-hmm.
So the big decision is going to be ball over the line.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I might be inclined to. I mean, certainly with the use of the spray. I mean, you've got that there. so that there's a big visual guide. So I'd be more inclined to free the assistant up for the potential of the crossbar and down and whether it's over the line or not, you know.
Okay.
In this particular game, whether they might have the technology would dictate a different answer. But for what we are used to, the ball over the line might be a big decision.
Yeah, I think it makes sense to keep it to what we're used to and not get involved in goal line technology,
Yeah.
AR, and all the rest of it. Although in previous seminars we've had really interesting insights into how VAR has worked, but obviously with positioning and movement, it's not a VAR. It's not VAR. Yeah. Okay. So she's used to sprint. Okay, she's got them back. We still have these little Spanish wall in front. So what's going to happen now?
Looking at the setup there, I would say it is a shot on goal. It's too central for a little clip ball over the wall. I think it's going to be a shot on goal.
Okay. All right. So, okay. No, we'll not talk about betting. Okay. So, anybody got a contrary view, or is it pretty clear this is a shot on goal?
I'm still going for the top right-hand corner, I am, with the wall obstructing the wall so they can't jump.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, shot on goal, I think it's pretty obvious. Of course, I know what's going to happen. So,
Oh yeah, I just noticed you got those two players on the right hand side of the box.
these ones?
Yeah, if you know, it could be a cute free kick down a side of the wall potentially, because 9 times out of 10 you expect a shot and the players to be on the left hand side for the rebound, but it's quite strange those two on the right hand side. You know, I think there's a part to play there. Maybe some tactic they've got.
I would hope the referee gets out of the way as well before the shot.
Yeah.
Out the way.
Yeah. So that actually takes us back to a small point that was made at the previous clip. Don't restart the game until you're ready.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So you get yourself into your position where you're comfortable before you blow the whistle to start the play. So you may want to tell the players, wait for the whistle. Okay. You may want to have told this player, please wait for my whistle. If you say that, don't blow the whistle to get the ball back, because if she restarts play, she'll tell you, you blew your whistle, you told me to wait, and then all of a sudden you're in a bit of a mess in terms of managing that. Okay, now, why are these 3 red players there?
Obstructed view of the goalkeeper, because they're just
block the view of the goalkeeper,
of the wall.
Yeah. Any other reason?
Going back to tactical variations, you could play a short ball up to them to push it to their right and follow up and take a shot in that space.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So, do you see, guys, where we're coming from? All the discussion are things that you need to be ready for, are things that you need to be prepared for. So, you've got these players here potentially. I wouldn't put too much money on them getting involved. You've got these 3 here. I would perhaps put a little bit more money on the possibility of them getting involved. But as we've said, I would put most of my money on shot on goal. Okay, and I think they are there simply to obstruct the position of the goalkeeper, which is perfectly legitimate. As we know, nothing wrong with that, as long as they're 1 meter in front of the defending wall. So let's see what happens. Okay, position.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Got a clear sight of the keeper.
yeah.
You're slightly for the number. Is it number 7? I can't see it through the pass straight across to that player. You're in the right,
Yeah, so maybe
a little bit further back, just
yeah,
out the way.
maybe. But that's okay. So if there's a short pass, I think she's got time to move, but you need to be aware. You need to be aware of it. Okay. But yeah, we can say that's a perfectly acceptable position. Just as an addition, what's really interesting for me is, okay, a bit of a damp squib with the ball going over the bar, so nothing has happened. But again, looking at tactical awareness, looking at why these red players are there, look how many red shirts, just as the ball has gone over the bar, all of a sudden have appeared in front of the goalkeeper. And the yellow defenders have remained static. So this referee in this situation potentially, and it didn't happen, perhaps had another decision to make very quickly in terms of a rebound off the goalkeeper, the crossbar, the goalpost, and one of these attackers then having the opportunity to. So you can see the tactics of the Spanish team at this free kick, where they've piled the attacking players. I mean, this wall that was here all of a sudden has vanished very, very quickly. So it had another purpose in that these attackers would immediately run past the defenders to pick up any rebounds or deflections, or a goalkeeper perhaps even dropping the ball in front of them. So quite interesting. And even at grassroots level, semi-professional level, the coaches are watching these types of situations at the top level and trying to copy them in your domestic games and our domestic games. So when you see 3 players in front of this wall, you can expect something to happen, and that might dictate also what your positioning will be. Another free kick, routine. Okay, we've all given these hundreds of times. No apparent danger at the moment.
What's going through your mind, John?
Well, there's a few things. You've got a full back over up the top there. He's an option.
Yeah.
You've got to pick out the best view you got of that line where you can see as many players as possible clearly. Because if he comes too far to his left, he's not going to see very many at all. So he's going to end up quite narrow, I would have thought, but he's possibly not got an awful lot of choice about it. There's also the option of the ball going left as well with the other fullback, even though it's less of an option because you've got the covering defender. So there's a few options there. I don't think the shot is on because it's too far away.
Yeah.
Little dink, kind of, if he was left-footed, it might be better, but a little curling ball towards the far side. You can have a nod across then. Offsides is going to come into it as well. The assistant looks as if he's ready for that already.
Okay.
So there's a fair bit there. There's quite a few things to consider.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's. Still good?
Mike, what do you think of positioning now? Mike?
It's going intermittent here. I would say not in the right place for me.
Mm-hmm.
Where the red player is in front of the nearest to the ball, I would say probably come slightly to the left of that, looking in.
So for me, there's 4 Monterey players just like sitting behind him, kind of thing. So as you can see, is played to one of those. So he's kind of caught napping the ref, because if it wasn't played to the closest one, it could have gone to the one which is on the furthest right of the screen, and in which case is right behind him. So he's instantly got to turn to see what's happening, and he loses track of the whole the rest of the players then. So again, I would say he should be the closest side of the pitch.
What basic principle has gone missing really from this moment in terms of with assistant referees now?
He's lost visual contact with him.
With the assistant?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the basic principle would be keep the ball between you and the assistant. Not always. Yeah. It's not always possible, but I think at this moment, at this free kick, there is no reason why any referee would be standing here. I could understand it if you had a game with no assistant referees and you knew something might happen here, or the potential for some holding. But your diagonal system, obviously without an assistant referee, well, diagonal system doesn't really exist any longer, of course, but yeah, he's obviously too far to the right side, which makes no sense. Okay. Now, what's going to happen?
Oh, crikey crumbs. Well, I think they were all onside, so ball chips over. They've done the defence by the look of it, and he runs in and scores. Centre forward.
Okay. All right, okay. Anybody else?
But the referee's caught out badly there. I
Yeah,
agree with
yeah.
Mike. He should have been over on the left here.
So if his starting position was more or less here, which we agreed, obviously then he's in a position to see what's going to happen now.
Yeah, you've got to leave that to your linesman over there. And if you're on your left-hand side here, you can see into the pack and see what's going on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think he's been caught out. Ah.
So nothing actually happened. Nothing happened, but it's such a straightforward restart. It should be a straightforward position, and yet he's decided to take himself 15 yards too far to the right side at this free kick for whatever reason. Would you involve your assistant referees at this? Because this is a wide angle screen now showing the restart. So we've got this guy here who's obviously got a onside, offside decision potentially to make. So it's not easy for him either.
Well, you're all mic'd up in that situation, so you should be asking him to just keep an eye for the obvious pulling the shirts or whatever. And then you should be back over on your left or the nearest side looking in.
Yeah, if you're mic'd up, yeah. Do any of you referee with mics?
Yeah.
Yeah, good, okay. So if you were refereeing with mics in this game, then what sort of messages would you be sharing with each other?
Well, first of all, for me, if I was refereeing, I would be instructing my my dead assistant, if you like, just to count me in. It's something that I picked up off another referee, so you can focus on the drop-in zone because you know where that ball's going to go. He can count you in 3, 2, 1, so you know that ball's being played, so you haven't got to look over your shoulder for the ball and miss anything that may or may not happen in the contact area. And then obviously you're going to tell the active assistant to make sure that he's ready for any potential offside, and just go with the flow from there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, good, okay. So everything should be prepared for this routine free kick. There shouldn't be any surprises. There shouldn't be any difficult moments coming because it's so far from goal, and you're quite right, a goal is out of the question. So the white and blue team will have some plan, some set piece, training ground routine, if you like, obviously at this moment, which just hasn't come off for them. But again, just small messages from each clip. Position yourself between the ball and the assistant. So you've got a clear angle of view at all times, and you'll see from this wide angle just how far out of position he is whenever the ball arrives, potentially in the danger zone. So if you had a problem there, sorry, that's gone. If you had a problem there, you're far too far away when you could have halved the distance from play there, quite easily. Time for just one more clip. So we're going to move into the penalty area. This clip, actually, I'm going to show you the clip. And just remember again that we're focusing on positioning and movement. And then let's get some comments, some feedback on the movement, on positioning that the referee has taken up. Especially penalty area decisions are obviously crucial, as we all know. So let's just have a watch. Okay, so I've decided to stop it for a reason, because I just remember what happened the last time I showed this clip and we had a discussion. So are we all comfortable with the referee's position? Can you remember where she was?
I think she's too close.
yeah.
I do.
Same, yeah.
Okay.
Too close to the action.
Too close?
Yeah. I know they're going to run in 5 or 6 yards, but you got your assistant on this side that can keep a good view. I might be tempted to be on this side as well, actually.
I would never put myself in the D from a corner
All right, okay.
because that's like any potential sort of clearance from a defender is probably going to fall there, and you're going to be right in the way.
Yeah.
So for me, I would probably say from where the referee stood there, as a minimum, probably maybe 3-4 yards to the left, looking in. Yeah, sort of out there, outside of the area, 3-4 yards further out, just so you're sort of out of the cluster of players.
Okay, so you remember the discussion we had earlier when we had the corner kick and the referee was very central, maybe within the line of the goalpost, dangerous position because you can interfere with play so easily. So yeah, good point.
All right, caught right up, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, as you said, she should be wider to look in on the players. And then when the ball breaks, she's caught out. She can't get to where the ball's breaking. You've got that clash. You've got like the clash with the keeper and the players, and you can't make a decision there. What's exactly happened?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Did she do anything well?
She did move to try and get into that area to see where the ball was, but she was blocked because of all the players. If she'd been wider to start with, she'd have got there closer.
Okay.
James, anything you would like to add?
Yeah, she's just way caught up in the action. The rebound came out. It almost struck her. The ball was behind her, and then she was caught then between the ball to one side and the goal the other. And so not only the initial rebound, but then the potential shot, she's instantly pretty much blocked out of the game. So as we were saying, I think she should have been quite a few yards further left, a couple of steps back, and it would have avoided so much of the difficulty that she then had.
And how did she deal with that difficulty?
Just got caught up in it, really. To me, it looked as if she kind of panicked and didn't know where to move. When the ball then came out and then went down the byline to be pulled back in, she then got herself in a half decent position. But yeah, it just looks as if she got completely lost in it to begin with.
Okay. So the position has been affected really by the trajectory of the ball, if you like. So if this had been a high normal corner kick cross into this area, obviously we wouldn't have had such a big problem with the positioning as it turned out. But listen, we've all been in what we thought was a great position, and all of a sudden a mistake by a player or a change in tactics, a deflection, a rebound, all of a sudden puts us in the wrong spot. So she's been a little bit unlucky. I think you're right. If she had been further to the left, then possibly she may have got away with it. But what I think she's done really well in dealing with it is she's moved quickly, she's moved dynamically, she's adjusted her position, she has fought to get into position. So she's stuck there. Now she's got to get round the team. She's sprinting hard, moving. Perfect position for a handball from the cross if there was one. And now she's right on the spot to give, if there was a foul there, perhaps. Goal, no goal. So you could possibly read into it she's panicked a little bit. You could read into it that she's determined to get as close to the situation as she can. you could read in that it's a little bit of both. But do you do these quick dynamic movements in your training sessions? Are you ready to move out of the way of play very, very quickly if you have to, whenever you're caught in the wrong position? Because it happens to us all in most games, sometimes through no fault of our own, sometimes from a bad starting position, as you saw in the previous clip. But you need to have this ability to move and change your position very, very quickly in the modern game, because things happen very, very fast. And that's really the reason for sharing this clip with you. Any other views on it?
I was going to say, yeah, it's getting that starting position. Like thinking that, every corner. I suppose I'm not sure what minute it was, but if it was at the beginning of the game, then you're trying to understand what are the tactics.
Yeah.
If it's like later on in the game, then you should have like nailed it down, so more or less where the ball's going to be going, and then you're going to adjust your position. So I think it's also sacrificing closeness for getting that standing back and getting that better view in the first place.
Yeah. So it gets back really to what I said in the short introduction. You have to work out in your mind priorities, percentages, what's likely to happen next. Try and predict what's going to happen. Always expect the unexpected, of course, but you have to deal with that when it happens in front of you. So hopefully what you've picked up from something from each little clip that we've shown you in terms of positioning and movement in the short time that we have to discuss about it, which is obviously only the hour tonight.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Alan, for your time. We've had our hour, so much appreciate. I'm sure that the lads there, the gents, would also appreciate. I'm saying, take those little tidbits away, and then think about it. The routine is never routine, but then bring that into your game. That have that tick list of what you're looking for, what can happen, what are the potentials, and so on. So thank you very much. Any closing comments from the group?
Yeah, I think with the pause that we've had and the inactivity, I think this kind of thing coming up like this the timing is really, really good, because I think probably a lot of us getting back to training of some type in a better way, with a view to restarting fairly soon. And this kind of refresh and freshening up can only help.
Yeah. And what's interesting in the conclusions from the clip, when we have these type of discussions, is exactly the same points that you've made. And particularly the bottom one there, you can see the advice from us: the referee's position does not interfere with play, including going too deep in a crowded penalty area. So somebody mentioned that, and we talked about the explosive dynamic movements, somebody good angle of view. So it would be very easy for referees just to stand and watch that type of play develop from the edge of the penalty area and not make that extra effort to follow the play in and change angles all the time and watch and see what's happened. So, if you want to get to the top and you want to be better than the next guy and just add something to your refereeing on a week-to-week basis, dynamic movement, explosive movements, quick running is something that always attracts an observer or a coach's eye and makes you stand out from maybe half a dozen other colleagues who simply don't do that. That's the modern game, guys, and that's why we do fitness tests and short sprints and hopefully build that into our training. There's always a reason behind these things.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you, Alan. I shall end the meeting there.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Well done.
Thanks, Alan.
Thank you very much.
And then for the rest of you, I'll be sending some emails out for the next meeting. But Alan, thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Pleasure, Simon. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks. Bye.